What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NFL Turf Talk. Your Super Bowl 60 matchup is set for 2 weeks from this past Sunday, as the New England Patriots will be taking on the Seattle Seahawks after the Patriots come away with a 10-7 blizzardy win in Denver over Jarrett Stidham, and the Seattle Seahawks, led by Sam Darnold. Hand up, I was wrong about Sam Darnold heading into this matchup. They hold on to beat the LA Rams in a slugfest, 31-27. I'm one half of your host, Dylan Davis. To my right, my faithful co-host, Scotty, and we are live, as always, over on the DSM Media Twitter channel, as well as the DSM Turf Talk YouTube channel. So first and foremost, you can find us on X at DSM_media. Make sure to hit that follow button. It's the best spot to be interactive with us when we're not live. The best spot to be interactive with us as we are live, and to get your thoughts, comments, and questions pulled up, like you can see on the screen below me right here, is to be on the YouTube channel. So make sure to check that out in the link tree in our bio. Make sure to subscribe, share, like, whatever you got to do. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. My man, happy Tuesday. The season is coming to an end. We got awards and Pro Bowl talk to get into later on in the week, but this is the fun stuff. This is championship weekend recap, and I'm excited to get into it with you.
Yes, sir. You mentioned it. This is it. It's coming to an end. I was a little down from the Eagles' loss a few weeks ago, obviously, but I was able to wake up a little bit this weekend and really soak in the football. And there was some good football played on Sunday. Maybe not the first game, but the second game was excellent. It was great. And I thought it was a great showcase, especially for the NFC. But you mentioned it, man. Once football season's over, then it's just a countdown to the next football season. That's how I live my life. In a sense, I live from football season to football season. So, I get through off season by counting down the football season, through baseball, through basketball, different sports. And I'll be just counting down the days until Eagles training camp and so on and so forth. But let's soak it in. Man, let me throw this to you. I know we're going to get to the Pro Bowl later. You going to watch?
No. No. Not a chance. Not a goddamn chance.
On a Tuesday, too, man.
The most viewing I will be doing of anything Pro Bowl related or this off week related will be if I pass a TV at someone's home or at a bar and it is on television. That is the most viewing these eyeballs will do on it. Not
the skills challenge is more entertaining. Honestly, yeah. The other competition.
Scotty, I'll watch them play dodgeball before I watch the Pro Bowl game. That's where I'm at. Terry, however, nice to see you. Nice to tap in, as always.
Are they doing flag football this year? Or am I making that up in my head? Is that the Olympics? I might be getting confused. But
I don't know. It might as well be flag football. It might have been flag football last year. I can't even remember, dude. That's how tuned out of the Pro Bowl I've been. Terry, however, that's what family is for, and I believe there's a family member of yours on the other side of the screen. So get his ass down there.
I don't know. I'm a couple hours away, Terry. I don't know if I can help you.
I heard these roads are still dangerous. I probably shouldn't drive a couple hours away.
The roads are dangerous. Planes.
All right, man. Let's get into this first game. And we had two just completely different games on Sunday afternoon. You had one in Denver that ends with a combined score of 17 with 100 missed field goals and missed kicks. Started with, bright and sunny, not bright and sunny, I don't want to say, but nice weather, kind of sunnyish weather, looking like there's not going to be any factors there. And then on the drop of a dime, it turns into a goddamn blizzard in Mile High. And then in Seattle, obviously you get a shootout, to say the least, with almost 60 combined points there. Let's start in New England. What do we talk about in this game? Where do your eyeballs go? Where does your mind go in this game? Jarrett Stidham, obviously, by the numbers, played better than Drake May. Not really. Obviously had the crucial turnover on the backwards pass that results in points. That did result in points, correct? I'm not mistaken there. Is that where New England?
They didn't get to. The touchdown didn't count, but
it didn't count. But then that's the Drake May run it in from the 6 or something on the same possession.
Yeah.
So that's the difference maker in the game, right? Jarrett Stidham throws that pass under pressure, and that's how they end up losing the football game after all. But just a mess, man. And the weather obviously played a major factor, but from a team that played in similar conditions in the divisional round last year, it works for both sides, so you can't really hold a grudge. But you have a Patriots team that I think is catching a lot of flack right now, man. I don't know if they were catching this amount of flack heading into the postseason itself. You had alluded to, to me with when we would do power rankings about the lack of resume and the schedule that they played, and it's a cakewalk. They did finish 14-3. They were tied for the best record in football, right? The 2 seed out in the AFC. So they are here for a reason. Drake May did play, in a top 2 or 3 MVP candidacy this year. They are here for that very specific reason. But obviously the last 2 weeks and the defenses and the opponents they played obviously play a factor in that in Houston and Denver. But this New England offense has not performed well over the divisional round and championship week specifically. Drake May, 10 of 21 for 86 passing yards in an AFC championship game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Yeah.
You understand that subtle little jab there?
Yeah. I do.
Because if other people threw for 86 yards and won a championship game, they wouldn't even be in the top 25 reasons as to why the team was having success.
Yeah.
But you texted me earlier, Drake May's got great PR. Don't get me wrong. Drake May's been fucking spectacular this year. I think Drake May's an excellent quarterback. I think he's already top 10 probably in the league. We'll get to where he can get to later on in his career. But Drake May has not been good the last 2 weeks. Drake May was not good in this weather against this defense at all. So where do your eyeballs take you in a 10-7 AFC championship thriller?
Yeah, no, I was actually, as you were talking through that, which I think you laid it all out brilliantly. I do think Drake May has some great PR management. I mean, he's got some Josh Allen level PR management going on out here. But, I do kind of throw this back to you when you watch the game, because from my eyes, there was part of me that believed that maybe Mike Vrabel just had the handcuffs on the offense just a little too much in this game. It ultimately worked out. They ultimately come away with the win. You rely on your defense to hold Jared Stidham and that offense back, right? And you just want to kind of play mistake-free or turnover-free football. But I almost feel like he just kind of simplified their game plan a little bit too much. Didn't really let Drake May loose. They did allow him to use his legs. Maybe that wasn't them allowing it. Maybe it was just him using his natural abilities right on the ground as a dual threat. But I just felt like he was kind of held back in this game. And maybe it is a result of the performance against the Texans, where he does drop the ball 4 times. He did fumble it 4 times, whether that's bad snap, whatever the case may be, weather, snow up there in Foxborough. But I just think, especially moving out of this game, you're not going to see Jared Stidham again. You're not going to see C.J. Stroud, Mr. 4 interceptions, deer in headlights again. You're going to have to let Drake May loose. We're going to have to see Drake May, the MVP candidate from this regular season. That's what we're going to have to see come the Super Bowl. But I guess for now, it worked out. Yeah, Denver missed 2 field goals. I think one of them were blocked. Stidham has the 2 turnovers, the one huge one, obviously, that swung the game completely. But yeah, there's just not much to it aside from that. I mean, the Patriots defense, to give them a little bit of credit as well, they have been great throughout this postseason. Like, you can't just attribute it all to the other team making, self-inflicted mistakes. Right. Like, the Patriots are there making the plays. But I guess I'll give you a player of the game. Christian Gonzalez, I thought he had a hell of a day. He had the interception. He had a sack in this game. I think he was second on the team in tackles and assists. So he was getting after it. The defense has been getting after it. They do force turnovers. They are a really good unit. We got to see something from that offense to get some confidence moving forward, especially going against the Seahawks. That's looking way ahead, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get ahead of us.
It's frustrating because not that this game was high scoring or high impact at any sense throughout the first half or first 2.5 quarters, but once that snow fell, man, it really started to fall. Yeah. And it impacted the whole game, and it left us without any type of real conversation, any real takeaways that we can have, right? Because Drake May threw for 86 yards. He was 10 for 21. Like you mentioned, like where their handcuffs on, dude, by the time that fourth quarter rolled around, it didn't matter that it was 10-7. Didn't matter that there were 3 minutes left, 6 minutes left, 8 minutes left in their own end zone, inside their own 20. Josh McDaniel and Mike Vrabel were saying, we're going to run the ball 3 times. We're going to pick up 1 yard and we're going to punt the ball back because they can't do anything either in this weather. And they're playing with the backup quarterback. And they haven't proven to do anything, right? 0 for 2 from Will Levis, like you mentioned as well. And New England also missed 2 field goals in this game. But, the weather took that away from New England side. And then the other side of it, I walked into the show on Sunday saying, I don't know who people think Jarrett Stidham is. Though the way that you want to talk about like PR from a quarterback, the PR, a backup QB who hadn't taken a regular season snap in 2 years was heading into a goddamn AFC title game. I've never seen anything like it. I've never heard anything like it. Obviously comes out, throws the touchdown to Cortland Sutton early on. They go up 7-0. You're like, oh, I doubted you, Jared.
Maybe a game.
Came back down to earth. Obviously, the fumble, the throw backwards was before the snow started to fall, so I can't say anything about that. But then again, this is a 10-7 game for basically the entire second half, where most of the second half, all the fourth quarter, and neither guy gets a real chance to do anything, right? Like, he missed the throw or didn't get the deep ball to Mims on the first play, and then they kind of forced the throw the very next play that ends it on the Gonzalez interception. He underthrows it by a mile.
Yeah.
There was no real opportunity to do anything. So when I say where do your eyes go in this game, there's nothing I can take away. What are we even going to talk about? New England's defense? Really? Like, we're going to talk about New England's defense and how dominant they were?
I feel you. Yeah.
I can't take anything from their defense in this game particularly.
I can say something, and it does not matter. I just preface it with that. Hypotheticals do not matter, especially at this stage in the season. If Bo Nix plays in this football game,
right?
Hypotheticals do not matter, but especially with the weather the way it was, just the way the game played out. Now, a caveat to that question or that hypothetical is, if Bo Nix is playing, do you have the constraints on the offense of the Patriots as much as you did the training wheels, right?
Sure.
But, man, they got lucky in this round that they played against Jarrett Stidham. Yeah. That's my, takeaway.
I agree.
And then you look back to the round before that, you had CJ Stroud. Like, it's one thing to turn the ball over. It's one thing to, throw interceptions. But to just throw it to the other team carelessly the way CJ Stroud was, you have to ask yourself if he had money on New England. You honestly have to ask that when you see some of the throws he was making in that game. But, maybe we can move on to the next game here too. But Sam Darnold, right, is the next challenge. Not getting ahead of myself too much. We'll see how we feel about him, right? Because there's a part of you that could say, Sam Darnold can do what CJ Stroud did. He can be a deer in headlights.
Absolutely. He didn't do that this past Sunday. So it's going to sound very haterish to come out and say that right now because he obviously slammed the door shut on that conversation for the time being. But there's definitely a chance that Sam Darnold, I think there's a chance Drake May could come out and put the ball on the ground 3 times as well, like he did against Pittsburgh. The last thing I'll say, I do just want to ask you this because I think the weather took a lot from this game. Obviously, again, they had 2+ quarters with no snow and no weather like that. So, why didn't they capitalize in that time period? I understand, but it's a weird feeling I'm having walking away from this AFC Championship. I didn't care about it. I didn't lose any money on it. It's nothing to do like that, but I've always been people, want domes. I'm not about domes, man, but I'm getting more and more on board with the retractable roof thing. And I think in baseball, it should definitely start being applied. I know it takes time and millions of dollars and whatever, but this was an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not to win a wild card round, not to win a Week 18 game to get into the dance, into the postseason. This was a trip to the Super Bowl on the line.
Yeah.
And it got heavily affected. I understand that both teams playing it. It is an even playing field for both teams. But you can't say it didn't affect it. But all they could do was run the football for a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
And then it's still a 3-point game, and now I have to try to throw the ball down the field in a blizzard, and it didn't work out.
And one quarterback is a dual threat, and the other is not.
And
right?
like there's people out there. Don't get me.
To.
I think there's levels to football weather and snow. Right. I'm not trying to sound like not even an old man, because I think most older people would be like, "Oh, this is football weather," right? I'm not trying to come across as the gate something else should have happened or whatever. But like the Eagles divisional round game, that was a lot of snow. They were still able to do things in that weather.
Yeah.
However, you ever hear people like in Philly talk about the Fog Bowl and what could have been if it wasn't for the Fog Bowl against Chicago? There's certain types of elements that come into play that become, even if it is unfair for both teams, which I guess in turn makes it fair, you can't tell me it doesn't have a major impact in the football game. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah, so I do. Just to your point about the divisional game last year with the Rams and the Eagles, and I know the wind was a little bit different in this game as well. It also could just be the backup quarterback and, a young second-year quarterback that's
maybe
just being restricted. Like I don't know. Like I guess we did. We watched Saquon run for 200 rushing yards.
I'll ask you this, bro.
Matthew Stafford did have a game out there in Philly in the snow. He was slinging that thing. But Matthew Stafford's a different animal.
If that game is 7-7 when the snow starts to fall, what time of day do we get a winner? Time of day.
It's hard to say. That's the thing. Like if the Patriots are put in a different situation, a bigger challenge, maybe we see a different version.
Right, and I know it sounds like I'm coming across like, hammering the table for Denver in this spot and saying, well, they didn't have a chance to whatever. It also would have been no snow for the Patriots offense, and Drake May could have done more. I'm not saying it would have benefited Denver per se. I'm just saying it prohibited both teams from doing what they wanted to do. Yeah. And people are, oh, this is football. Dude, did you enjoy watching the second half of that game?
No.
You couldn't see where they were on the field. They couldn't throw the ball more than 2 feet in the air. Neither team could run the ball because both teams know what's coming. That game wasn't enjoyable or entertaining. So miss me with you don't like football and snow? Who are you? I like football and snow. I don't need to see football in what seemed like 2 feet of snow. I know it wasn't, but in that time frame, it was too much. But nonetheless, where there wasn't snow, we got points. We got points out in Seattle, man. This was a hell of a game played by two quarterbacks. First and foremost, Remy, if you're watching, I do want to tip the cap to number 9 because there's nothing you can point to in this game that says on one specific play, number 9 lost it for them. This dude was 22 of 35 for over 370 for 3 tutties. Had 127.6 quarterback rating. Problem, on the other side of the floor, on the other side of the field, you had a dude do the exact same thing. You had a dude throw for 25 36, over 345, 3 tutties, didn't turn the ball over either, a 127.8 passer rating. These two went at it, dude. But through both star receivers went at it, man. This game was fun. Sean McVay calling a timeout late in the game to figure out if he wanted to challenge was certainly a decision and impactful in this game. But at the end of the day, Sam Darnold slayed a lot of dragons, man. Put a lot of demons to rest. For a moment, like obviously there's still a bigger target on to go if they to win the Super Bowl and finish the job. They're 4.5-point favorites against the Pats, but Sam Darnold was fucking unbelievable. Money on 3rd and 4th down, absolute money. I think he had 1 or 2 incompletions on 3rd and 4th down throws in this game. It's fucking awesome. So was 9, but at the end of the day, the Seahawks come away with a win and. Heading into Super Bowl Sunday, I will say that they are the most complete team. And I will say that even though the other guy is an MVP candidate in the regular for this year, Seattle's quarterback's playing better leading into the game.
Yeah, and the early spread does reflect that. No, I thought this was a great game, as you stated, man. For Sam Darnold, I just think for me that's a breakthrough game. Now, if he goes out Super Bowl and just stinks the bed up, then so be it.
Right.
I'll die on that cross, I guess. But I look at Sam Darnold a little differently after seeing him step up on the big stage, and he's done it quite a few times at this point in the season, right? Because we're talking about with the Vikings, you're out in the first weekend of the playoffs now. Obviously, they had to go through the 49ers, but they beat the 49ers to win the division at the end of the season. That was also Sam Darnold leading the way there. So that was a big spot for them to win the division. Maybe that helped get them prepped for the playoffs. They get San Fran again at home, take care of business there. And then you come out, and it's kind of like they were just going kind of levels at a time, right, with Sam Darnold and his demons, because the Rams are obviously that hill he couldn't get over, whether it's the Vikings or the Seahawks, right? And he goes out there and he handles business, goes at it with Matthew Stafford, and it created another level of respect for me for Sam Darnold, man, that he can really compete at the highest level. And once you show that you have it in the big light, it's in there. You just have to keep finding it consistently. So he has it in him. He's not like some of these other guys that shrink in the big moment, choke up the football, give up turnovers, right? Because you couldn't afford that in this game, quite frankly. You mentioned some of the decision-making by Sean McVay. That muffed punt. Punt is like, after that point, it's just like, fuck, because each team is just scoring 7 every drive after that, up until the fourth quarter. I know there was some punts and turnover on downs mixed in there to end the game, but that just changed all the momentum, because you come out at halftime, Seahawks get the ball, you're thinking, oh, Seahawks can go up 2 scores. They come out, I don't think they went 3 and out, but I'm pretty sure there was a big sack, and that ended the drive. They had the punt. And then you just have that muffed punt at the 17-yard line, and immediately the Seahawks score a touchdown, go up 2 possessions. And from there, it was kind of a shootout in a sense, right? Who was going to score and who was going to get the first stop. And it was the Seahawks that were able to do it, man. But
it's just,
I will say this, though, just real quick. JSN and Puka, I'm just watching those guys, man. Those are like, I don't know. I'm not going to like throw Jamar Chase down here, Justin Jefferson and stuff. But like, these guys look like 1 and 2, whichever way you want to decide.
Wow. Okay. I was going to ask you a question about one specifically, but to your point, that's exactly how the third quarter started. 5 plays for 7 yards, less than 3 minutes on the possession for Seattle. You have the muff punt 1 play later, 17-yard touchdown for Seattle. And then so after the muff punt, you have touchdown. That's how the third quarter went. Yeah. And then not a point in the fourth quarter. The Rams go 14 plays, 84 yards, go for it on 4th down. Still, right decision to go for it. 4-point game. Obviously, you can argue with the time left in the game. You kick the field goal, you're down 1, you get a stop. You only need a field goal to score. Whatever. You're inside the 5-yard line or wherever they were on the field. You trust Matthew Stafford and that offense and Sean McVay to try to take the lead right then and there midway through the fourth. But not a point in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game. Only 4 possessions, 2 each. In the game, in the fourth quarter, was crazy. I was going to follow up by bringing the JSN conversation up, because it's funny that you say they're 1 and 2. Puka, I think, has gotten the recognition, just from last year alone, heading into the season, that Puka was already top 5, 6, somewhere in that conversation, right? You have the people, Jettas, Jamar, and then you get into the conversations of, where's, CeeDee Lamb, and where's Puka, and where's this? JSN took himself to another level this year with Sam Darnold, and obviously had a spectacular regular season, is a Pro Bowler. Did he make an All-Pro team? Is that I don't know. He had to have, right? Yeah. But then again, just like a guy like Sam Darnold, to go out there and put up 153 and a tutty and the one-handed grab on a 3rd down early in the first half, man. I was going to ask you, where is this dude? I tweeted it out probably mid-season. JSN is a top blank wide receiver in the league. Now you get heading into the Super Bowl, and he's just continued to add to that. it's, it is hard to just take a year of greatness and say, oh, well, he's leapfrogged or they've leapfrogged Justin Jefferson, who had to play with J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz this year. And, Joe Burrow missed a lot of time. Jamar Chase was a Triple Crown winner a year ago. Yeah. I still think those are 1 and 2. Like, overall, Puka and JSN had the 2 best seasons in the National Football League, I would argue. Where is he? How great is Jackson Smith-Njigba?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm starting to look at the wide receiver position. Like, what have you? And this is a conversation for the offseason, but I'm starting to look at every position. Like, what have you done for me lately? And I know that's recency bias, but it's just when you watch what he's able to do, he's able to do it all, right? He starts in the backfield, ends up in the end zone. Like, he starts in the slot, he starts in the outside, he catches deep passes, he catches intermediate, short routes. He does it all. When you bring up Puka, there's a level of aggression that comes with Puka Nacua as well that I really love, which is why I do say maybe not 1 or 2, but in that top 4, top 5, they are in there. Like, him and JSN are in there. Like, they have to be. Just the way they complement every facet of the game. Like, Puka and JSN, they get in on blocking for running plays. Like, you don't have a successful run game without that. And I don't know, man. Just watching them go at it.
Let's run a little test project here on one of those games we were going to play. I have the list pulled up from the receiving leaders of this year. Now, obviously, there's guys I'm going to miss because of season-ending injuries. I'll try to remember them. This is not going to go smoothly as we would have planned for, right? When to prep for it. But JSN, would you rather, right? Let's run through it. JSN or George Pickens?
JSN, yeah.
JSN or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
JSN, yeah.
JSN or Nico Collins?
JSN, yeah.
JSN or CeeDee Lamb?
JSN.
JSN or AJ Brown?
JSN. That one hurts.
JSN, and this is where we get into a little bit of hazy. Malik Neighbors was ranked very highly heading into the year, obviously towards ACL. JSN or Malik Neighbors' future?
JSN, stability. Yeah.
So going off of that, Jackson Smith-Njigba is without a doubt a top 4 wide receiver. I'm not going to ask Puka. I'm not going to ask Jamar, and I'm not going to ask Jettas.
Fair.
I think JSN is somewhere within the top 4. Led the league in receiving yards this year. Had 119 receptions, which is top 4 by the looks of it. Had 163 targets, which is top 4 or 5 by the looks of it. 10 touchdowns, which is second most in receiving this year, behind a couple guys with 11.
It's interesting. The only guy that I tread back on a little bit is maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're very similar, though, in my eyes. Like, they're very similar.
Yeah.
But that's the only one that I go back to, and I'm like, I don't know. Amon-Ra does cook. AJ Brown, down season, it's hard to look at him right now, thinking with those drops in my mind from the playoff. It's hard right now to picture him. Obviously, out of respect for the last couple years, he's going to be in that combo. This question right here, I am factoring like personality into
it's a great point. It's a great point. Yeah.
So Pickens, AJ, I went with JSN just because I haven't seen him yell at his head coach or quarterback. So
fair point.
But no, I think it's just worth saying they have put themselves in that conversation, and more JSN than Puka, to your point, because Puka, he has kind of been there the last few years. You know how Remy has really he's coming in on us. He's trying to get on us about Puka and the AJ comparisons, and Puka's effort, bro, is just ridiculous on top of the talent.
Yeah,
because he's like a max effort bottom of the roster.
I think something works. I know we're getting off topic from championship weekend and everything.
Right.
And this was a shout out to Jason, but I think as an Eagles fan, something we have to think about is 2-3 years ago, like I would take AJ Brown. Like 2021, 2022, 2020, beginning of 23. That AJ Brown, I would say, is a top 3 wide receiver in football. Top 4 wide receiver in football. I think we have to still appreciate what AJ Brown is and brings to the table. He is a number 1, obviously. I think AJ Brown is still a top 7-ish, 6-ish wide receiver, all things included, even after the down year from the offense.
Yeah.
I don't think AJ Brown is in his prime I don't think he's past his prime. I'm not saying anything crazy like that. I think when he got traded
not
here,
peaking anymore.
That was the peak. That was the pinnacle, the top of the mountain, AJ Brown.
Because he's a physical receiver.
I think he's a few steps coming down the mountain. Not a lot. I think he's a few. So, yeah, to sit here and be like, oh, well, if he played on the Rams, I think Puka is better than him.
Yeah.
I think the best way to determine when you're going, would you rather, when you do rankings 1 through 10, I think you have to take situations out of it. I think you have to take recency bias and numbers. They play a factor into everything.
Yeah.
But the best way to do it would be you get to put this receiver with the best quarterback in the world and the best play caller in the world. Who would you rather? Because who would thrive the most? Who would be the best with the best? Yeah. And I think that's how you manage who's the best when that's you do point. Or would you rather?
It's a great point because you look at this game, who are the quarterbacks that are playing the best right now? Who are the play callers that are calling the best plays right now? They're the teams that are still here in the playoffs, Correct. And that's the result.
You could say, like you could argue, you might even have it in Kansas City alone if you wanted to argue Andy and Patrick. But if you wanted to say Sean McVay and Patrick, or Sean McVay and Josh Allen, or Andy and Josh, however you view the best quarterback and the best play minds in the world, play callers in the world, imagine the guys you're thinking of in that offense. Yeah. Who's the best? And that's how I would kind of think about it, right? But what he's doing, what Sam Darnold did specifically in this game when the lights were the brightest was ultra impressive, man, because I, again, was 1,010% wrong about this matchup. I thought, and I think we both said on, correct me if I'm wrong, on the pregame that if it was to get into a shootout and Sam Darnold gets dragged into deep waters by Matthew Stafford because he's putting up points and he's answering every possession, Sam Darnold will fold. Sam Darnold didn't just fold. Sam Darnold
didn't not fold. Yeah.
was right. Didn't not. Yeah, thank you. He didn't just not fold. He fucking excelled and exceeded any singular expectation that could be put on him, man. So D-Rab, correct.
Yeah.
Mrs. Scotty, correct.
Thanks. I will shout out one more guy from the Seahawks. And it was nice to see the response at the end of the game from the other Rams players. But Cooper Kupp made some big-ass plays in this game, too, against his old squad. And it was awesome seeing, Puka and I forget who else wished him, great luck in the next round, nonetheless. But I just thought that was really cool. Downside, bro, of the Rams losing, I did hate seeing Davante Adams 0-5 in conference championships. That's
tough, dude.
Because he balled out too.
That is tough. Did you see the clip surfaced before championship weekend of what is that magicians? Is it Oz or not? Is it Oz the man? No, is that the guy? Who's the crazy magician that goes to all the teams and can figure he's been on different podcasts.
I'm not sure.
It's not, I don't know why I'm saying Oz the Mentalist. It's not Oz the Mentalist. But he went to the Rams practice facility in the summer and he had Davante Adams come up and they went through a bunch of stuff and had him throw a ball to someone and he wrote down names and he knew what would happen. And, at some point he ended up guessing it. He had Davante think of it beforehand, but he said, who's in the Super Bowl this year? And Davante Adams said, us. He's like, and who are you playing? And he said, the Broncos. And a game away from that shit coming into existence, but
I think it is Oz the Mentalist.
Is it Oz the Mentalist?
Oz Perlman. Yeah, that's what it says on Google at least.
Let me look.
I googled magician that visits NFL training camps, and that's what.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
So,
For some reason, when I
That's
said Oz the
crazy.
Mentalist, my mind was going to like an old guy, and I was like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, my mind
maybe
went
like
to
some
David
60
Blaine.
Minutes type shit. Yeah, I don't know. But that's correct. It is Oz the Mentalist. But yeah, man, we obviously have some time in between Super Bowl weekend to get more content out there. The JSN, that was fun. Obviously, that took 30 seconds, and we'll come a little bit more set up game fashion. But that's just kind of what it would be like, right? Coming up with 6 to 10 type of answers.
There's a lot of recency bias in that JSN one, though. It's hard when you just watch him excel in the biggest stage, right? Yeah. One-handed catches, like you said, touchdowns out of the backfield.
I think that's a great point. I think that's a great point because while I tip the cap to JSN for this ridiculous year, I did say I think Puka is better, and that is something that's being added to, right? Because Puka didn't just burst on the scene this year; he burst on the scene last year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, the stuff, again, it's very difficult, right? Because Puka, in 2 years in the NFL, has played in Sean McVay's system with Matthew Stafford, with Cooper Kupp on one side, and now Devontae Adams on the other side. Don't get it twisted. Puka Nacua is a top 3-4 wide receiver in the National Football League. I'm not arguing that. But it's hard because it's like, well, in the same time, Justin Jefferson played with J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz. So because of this year, with the circumstances, am I going to say Puka Nacua is a better wide receiver than Justin Jefferson?
Right.
Am I going to Jamar Chase won the Triple Crown award last year? Not award, but you get what I'm saying. Am I going to say he's better now than Jamar Chase?
You know where my mind goes, and obviously it's Eagles centric in my head. I know it's biased. My mind goes to Smitty, for example, and just thinking about him in a different offense specifically, because he's got the route running down, right? He's quick, he's twitchy, the route running. In a McVay offense, in a Ben Johnson offense, in a Matt LaFleur offense, right? What does a Devontae Smith look like when you can move him outside, you can move him in the slot, you can move him anywhere on the football field? He just doesn't get used like that in Philadelphia.
It's a sickening thing to think about because, right. It can be Smitty. You can think about Smitty. You can think about AJ.
Simply.
It shouldn't be that, right? Puka Nacua can go for 160-something and a touchdown in the NFC Championship. Jackson Smith and Jigba can go for 150-something and a touchdown in the NFC Championship. Point is, it's not rocket science to get your best players to football in the National Football.
It shouldn't be.
And we make it like it's fucking pulling teeth. Like, so... That's where it's frustrating. Before we wrap up, man, I know we'll talk about it more on the Faithful Fanatic show tomorrow, but Brian Daboll seemingly is ready or is about to, or just did a couple minutes before we went live, take the OC job in Tennessee. I know Schefter tweeted out a couple hours ago that that's what they're set to do. Like right before we went live, I think I saw that he was hired, so he's off the board as the Eagles OC. Just a weird circumstance. Just very weird. Like the Titans and Cam Ward. Well, so we'll answer that question kind of more on the show tomorrow. I just wanted to preface it and get it floated out there to anyone listening that watches, because
the offseason coaching carousel in general has been a little weird. I mean, Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh is weird to me. Joe Brady goes from OC to head coach, and like, I get it, but you're changing the guard with Josh Allen, right? Like, you're trying something new. Is Joe Brady, was he running Sean McDermott's offense? Like, no, Sean McDermott was a defensive head coach. So I just, I get it. You'll get another defensive mind in there. You'll have a new perspective at the lead, but I don't know. It just, if you're going to go a new direction, shouldn't you like go a new direction ultimately?
Fair point.
Take stuff off of Josh Allen's shoulders. I don't know. I just thought that was weird, but
yeah. Who do you want as your OC? That's
at this point, it's hard to say.
I don't really know. I truly don't know, because you texted me something interesting, man, and you sent me the Ross Tucker clip. And while my initial reaction was to be snippy with Ross Tucker, like, yo, just because like you're around the team a lot and you cover their preseason and stuff, it's like not everything's all sunshine and rainbow. Like you don't have to be optimistic about everything. And I think what they're doing, like like every interview's a free consulting session, and they're doing their due diligence. And it's like, man, everybody's getting hired.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
The question, though, what you text me, I think is fair. It's like, okay, in my mind, right, we know Brian Daboll was the OC in Buffalo the year that Josh Allen started to become Josh Allen.
Right.
Then he gets a head coaching gig with the Giants. We think that he's this great offensive mind, right? We've seen him with Jackson Dart. We've seen him with whatever. Oh, he could come in. And I'm not saying he wouldn't be great here.
Right.
However, he did get fired from being a head coach a couple weeks into a season with the Giants after not having success for the last 2 or 3 years with the Giants, being a bottom 5 team, by the way.
Yeah.
And then couldn't get another head coaching job in this cycle.
Right.
The Eagles did interview him in person. While I'm frustrated with who Nick has hired in the past, I think the organization and Jeffrey and Howie deserve the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. That maybe just the interview and what we think on the outside looking in of what Brian Daboll could be is not telling the whole story, right? Maybe there's a reason he's in Tennessee, and it's not just, oh, he chose to coach Cam Ward over Jalen Hurts. What's that tell you about our quarterback? Maybe that's not the point of the conversation.
Right. It's something we'll get into tomorrow for sure on Faithful, but just off what you're saying, man, I'm just thinking, like, for all we know, Howie and Jeff Lurie could have a plan for succession. You bring in the guy that will take Nick's job.
Yeah.
I don't know. You bring in a young offensive mind.
It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating to watch these guys get plucked and go other places.
Right.
But like obviously over the weekend before we even got to Faithful, Bobby Slowick is returning to Miami, right? So like that was another guy that we talked about the other day that's off the board. So while all these guys are getting taken, I think they do deserve the benefit of the doubt as an organization. I still say this though. You cannot come away with Mike Kafka or Matt Nagy.
I agree.
That's just my overall
just retread.
Feeling.
That's all that is, man.
Right.
Used.
Now, and it's tough
abused.
to make these. It's tough to make these statements, man, on January 27th because it's like I say this. They go out, they hire Matt Nagy in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We freak out, we pull our hair out, we hate it, and then come September of next year, the offense does look different, like we wanted it to.
Yeah.
So it's tough to just write off someone new, but like you said, how new is it going to be with a Matt Nagy back in the building, with a Mike Kafka in the building?
It is interesting, right? Like when you think about names and name value at the end of the day, right? And what have you done for me lately? It's like, how would you feel if like Doug Peterson was coming in to call plays offensively, or like a Frank Reich from back in the day, right?
Right.
I've seen some fans working their mind around that. Like that would be a good choice. And it's just like, well, what makes Frank Reich different from Matt Nagy or whoever the other guy is?
Mike Kafka.
Not interested.
Yeah. Is Grizzard still out there? The Tampa Bay's OC? Is he still not back with them or anywhere?
I think he has to be because they brought in the guy from LA. They brought him in for an interview. I think Grizzard has to be still out there.
We'll see.
There's options, man. There's options. Like if the quarterback coach for Green Bay can get Jordan Love to a top 6 quarterback rating the last 2 seasons, like, okay, like he should be able to do some work with Jalen Hurts, I would imagine, the Super Bowl MVP, right? So it's just weird, man. I texted you about this. I texted you a long
It's a tough battle. It's a tough battle internally as an Eagles fan right now, as a Philly sports fan right now.
I'm doubting everything right now.
Yeah, because of what just took place, and all these guys are interviewing, and then they're taking jobs elsewhere. It's this tough internal battle of, are they saying no to us? Because the immediate takeaway when someone takes a different job after interviewing with the Eagles is, oh, it's the quarterback, or it's just the offense. Yeah. You know, there's these issues that you think you're correct on.
Like is
it that, or is it the Eagles interviewed and didn't come away with what they wanted out of it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they wanted a decision sooner than what the Eagles were willing to give it, right? Like, I don't know. Like Kellen Moore, like the Saints held out until Kellen Moore was off of our team out of the Super Bowl, right? Like, So teams do take a little bit longer to get their coaches in. And Kellen Moore, Jonathan Gannon, those would be like far after the season concludes. So we are still early in the process. It's just we knew Brian Daboll. We know Mike McDaniel. We've seen them as head coaches. We've got to see their offenses in full throttle, right? We know that they're at the helm. And so when you get into some of these other guys, like the Doyles of Chicago and the Manions of Green Bay, and we don't have a lot to go off of here. We can dig in the trenches and try to find it, but there's not a lot of inklings that are going to show us whether or not this person's going to have success with Jalen Hurts in this offense, right? So, and the other side of it is the offensive line. We'll talk about it tomorrow, man. We'll talk. I'm excited, right? I'm excited to talk Eagles.
This is one I'm in on.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are out on it, but I don't know. I liked what he was able to do. I like that he's worked with Shane Steichen as well. So yeah, I'm not as out on that as most people.
Time out. Daniel Jones was looking like what for?
Right.
Now, I know it's Shane Steichen being there, whatever, but yeah. All right.
Anybody with competence, please.
Exactly. Let's get on out of here, guys. For myself, for Scotty, for DSM, enjoy the rest of your night. As always, you can find us on Twitter at DSM_media. Hit that follow button and then check out all of the YouTube links in our link tree in the bio. Just hit the subscribe button on each of them. You have the DSM Turf Talk YouTube channel where you can get all of your NFL football content. You have the Scotty Talks NBA YouTube channel where him and Slim are breaking down all the NBA action every single week. And then, of course, the DSM Philadelphia YouTube channel where you can get all of your Philly sports talk over there on the Fifth Fanatic Show, as well as any of our pregame shows with more content to come in the coming weeks and months. Have a great rest of your night, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.